7th live. She said you have no sound. You need to raise your volume. It's still very
What
low. Sorry.
what about now? Now?
I can hear you, but it's like really low.
Because I'm on my phone.
Put it on speaker.
I have it on speaker and I have the mic on, so I don't know. Guys, I'm having so many problems because this phone is a little what is yes. Can you I can hear you now. Okay. So if you can hear me, Kathy, that's good. That means everybody else can hear me. Okay, I'm holding the phone up closer to my face because you know, looking at me through this it just makes it look small. So anyway, uh, sometimes we are a victim of our own DNA. You know, sometimes it is based on our ancestral background. If I know in my family, alcoholism runs rampant, you know, but yet I come from a line of people who were farmers, and because they were farmers, it's in they were drunks. The males were drunks. So now uh, it just seems like the addiction factor starts to jump in as well as the alcohol. So I believe that it has to do with the suffrage which the DNA actually stores, and as you're created, that part of that DNA comes with it. So I think that hereditary, a lot of this stuff is hereditary. And I think that people live with these demons every single day. And unfortunately, you know, there are a lot of people that don't know how to help themselves, so don't know how to get out of that. They don't know how to break the cycle, so they just go along with it and believe that, that they're okay, and they lie to themselves. Especially, thanks, Kat. Hey, Sadia. Hi. Uh, Especially when it comes to minorities, especially when it comes to like blacks and Hispanics. We were born in an age where we don't tell, don't talk, and don't tell. What goes on in a house stays in a house, which I don't know what that mentality was for, but I remember that era was where moms would bring men over, and they were uncles, and and the men would call the women that were cheating, "This is your auntie." So people had a lot of aunties and a lot of uncles. It doesn't work like that for many family members, because there are people who are born after us, and they turn out pretty much okay. And there's people that turn out okay in our generation, except they need a lot of therapy. And I just want you to understand one thing: you can go to therapy, and you can work on yourself as much as you want, but understand that you will always be a work in progress. It's never going to end. You're never going to be an alcoholic and then automatically stop drinking and you're not an alcoholic anymore. You're still an alcoholic. It's just a matter of understanding that every now and then you're going to have to go to an AA meeting, or you're going to have to go get help, so that you don't go back, or you have to let go of your past so that it doesn't come back and haunt you. As far as that goes, I mean, it's hard when you're trying to help people, especially depression. Depression does run in a lot of in, a, in a lot of minorities, and it's a lot of trauma. You know, uh, a lot of the things, people forget that you know, the black woman is the queen, and if it were not for the black woman seed, none of us would exist, because our DNA is made up of African descendant, and we're all born from that. So when you look at African American women and you see that they were abused, or molested, we're not talking just about slavery time. We're talking about the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, when a lot of these kids were abused in the churches and stuff like that, whether they be boys or girls. Sometimes they repeat the cycle. And if a woman's mother doesn't take care of the woman, and she's not the proper mother, how is she expecting her daughter to be a good mother? You can't expect your mother to be a good mother if she didn't have a great example. But if she had a great example, then you will be an excellent mother. And you don't have to have a blood mother to um to show you. You can just have a woman who is a mother and that's taking care of you, that you can see what you didn't see, and then take care of yourself that way. um the addiction process is addiction of every kind. Most people that have been abused, like I was, we tend to become very promiscuous at a very young age, and we just keep going. We don't, both men and women become very promiscuous, and it doesn't matter. It's almost like we are on a roller coaster to want to die, because I know that I spent a great deal of my life trying to destroy my life. And when I actually made it to 50, I realized that I wanted to live. And that is why I'm 55 and I'm living my best life, because I feel good about me and the things that I do. And I'm very grateful to the universe that it was very patient with me and has helped guided me through my good, bad, and indifferent times. Now, with other addictions, I was strong enough to break that cycle. Whenever I desire to do something, I do it. Whenever I desire not to do it, I don't do it. So at the end of the day, when I choose to leave an addiction, I do leave it. I walk away from it because it's not important for me to keep it. So we're going to sum that up with the addiction process, because people, you have to understand that you have to be patient with people who have addiction problems. I'm not saying that if they treat you horrible that you keep it on, and you keep pushing them. But if they're family, try to help them the best way that you can. But if you cannot help, you have to walk away. You're not going to help them if you can't help yourself. You have to continuously do the work so that things can shift for you as well as for them. And that's very, very important to do. Now, on the other subject about spiritual growth, you know, spiritual growth is not an easy thing. Spiritual growth comes with time. And spiritual evolution is no different than spiritual growth. I'm going to move myself for a minute. Hold on, I'm going to turn on this light to see if there's enough light where I can put this phone. I hope that you guys can see me. I mean, it's not going to be perfect but I'm sure that you can see me. Okay, yeah. Now, there are different levels of ascension, just like there are a lot of levels of light, chakras, energy, and there's a lot of levels of even dark magic. But the ascension level is the ascension level in a nutshell is do the work on yourself, never stop working on yourself. Never think that you know everything, because you don't know everything, and you won't know everything, and you will never, ever, ever stop learning until the day you die. So get that through your head. There are going to be people out there that are very gifted and that are going to know more than you. Uh, I can honestly say that in my travels that I've done, a lot of the travels that I've done around the world, I can honestly say that I've met a lot of great mediums, and they believe that they think that I'm a great medium. I believe that they're a great medium. I have nothing but respect for them, and they are highly favored, and I recommend people that are in those countries to go visit them, because they can't I can't always be here for people, because I'm working on, like I said, I'm working on me. So working on yourself is very important. Working on yourself and learning about different things. Reading is very fundamental. If you don't want to read, if you're not one of those people that like to read, but they get the book in audio, excuse me, and then listen to detail. Get a notebook, and whatever catches your attention, write it down. Whether they be recipes, whether they be incantations, whether they be chanting, or things that you want to do. Just because you don't speak the language, whether it's Hindi or or Chinese or Japanese, it doesn't mean that you can't listen to chants. Once you listen to a chant and you listen to it over and over and over, you actually become familiar with the chant, and you will actually start following it and repeating the words until you get it. Nobody is born taught. We're not born taught. We learn as we go along. Life hits us hard, but we have to understand that we have a mission. And I think that is where a lot of us fail. A lot of us come here already with a mission. And sometimes a mission can be the simplest thing. Sometimes a mission, let's say for a woman, might be to be a
Yes,
Yes.
you've lost sound again. I can't hear you.
You've lost sound again. I can't hear you. You've lost sound again. I can't hear you. You've lost sound again.
Can anybody hear me? Uh-oh.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
Me either. Now you're not on the screen at all.
I know. I don't know. That's why I text you. Just do me a. Just tell people that I have to cancel because I can't. I don't have control over anything.
They can hear you.
Can anybody hear me? Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Listen, I'm gonna have to cancel today because I lost uh I lost visual on the phone. I don't have visual on my pad. I don't have visual on my laptop. I'm not sure why. So I have to figure this out, and I don't know what Dr. D's schedule is, but I would like to reschedule this because it's very important that I get the message out. So
Okay,
I
hold on.
appreciate it.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, at a further time, we will get in contact with you. We are sorry about this interruption. Don't know what's going on. So we will put it out on the schedule if you have not subscribed to the channel now, so you know the future updates. Okay, love ya. Hasta mañana.